Okay, recently I was in Grand Rapids for a wedding, and in some of the downtime, I decided I was going to go to all the great bookstores that they have there because that's pretty much the Christian capital of the world as far as publishing is concerned. And so a lot of great bookstores, and I thought I could get some great deals, and it turns out I did. So my first stop was Family Christian Bookstores. I haven't been in one since I left California, and I didn't get anything there. There really wasn't anything that I thought, I want to spend money on this. But my second stop was to Kriegel's Parable Christian Bookstore. And I went there and I started finding all these great Kriegel books for deep discounts for like $2, $3, $4. And as I'm piling books, one of the gals came over and said, "Those books, by the way, are buy three, get one free." So I got more books. So let's look at some of the ones I got real quick. Applying the Sermon. How to Balance Biblical Integrity and Cultural Relevance. This is an interesting story. I don't necessarily always explicitly apply the sermon. Sometimes I will just allow the Spirit essentially to apply the text. But this is by Daniel Overdorf, and I've reviewed some of his books before. Really good, sound preacher and biblical thinker. So I thought, hey, this is a great book for me to add to my collection here. Then I got this other book, Encountering New Religious Movements. And I guess the idea behind this book is it sees people groups and religious groups like Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons as instead of looking at them as heretical groups, to think of them as people groups and start ministering to them through that. So really cool stuff. Looking forward to diving into that one. And now I got a few other preaching books. This one is Show Me How to Preach Evangelistic Sermons. So it'll be a good reference book. It's by Larry Moyer. I haven't really read too much of his stuff or looked into him too much, but looking forward to that one. And another one by Larry Moyer is How to Illustrate Evangelistic Sermons. Illustrations, images, metaphors, always a good resource to have, so that'll be another good resource book. I got this classic book, Numbers in Scripture. Apparently, I'm told it's a classic, and it looks into what all the numbers of the Bible signify and mean. I'm hoping it's not one of those like Bible code things. I don't think it is, but it was just a couple bucks, so hey, there you go. 101 more hymn stories. I have several versions of this. 101 hymn stories, 101 additional hymn stories, and now 101 more hymn stories. Just the stories behind the hymns that we like. And so they have Joy to the World, Worthy is the Lamb, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, I Surrender All, I'd Rather Have Jesus, and some of the stories that were behind the creation of those hymns. Cool stuff. Looking forward to using that more as a reference tool. The Ministry of Music, a complete handbook for the music leader in the local church. Essentially what I'm getting from this, it's a systematic theology or a theology of music by Kenneth W. Osbeck. Looking forward to pretty much using this as a reference tool, if for anything else. Dying to Preach. Every week I'm dying to preach, or maybe preaching's killing me, I'm not sure, but it's Embracing the Cross in the Pulpit. Sounds like a good idea, and I think the idea is that we are supposed to die to ourselves in our preaching, and that's part of what we're doing here. And this is by Stephen W. Smith. Never read anything by him before, but looking forward to seeing what that's all about. And Preaching with Variety. And this is by Jeffrey D. Arthurs. And it's got a forward by Haddon Robinson. So the fact that Haddon Robinson put a forward on this means at least the forward's going to be awesome. Looking forward to this. I think we need to preach with a lot of varieties. And really, he's talking about genre preaching, which is what I'm into. And so I'll probably refer to it when I'm preaching a different genre again. I'll probably read through their Psalms and see what I did wrong when I preached through Psalm Book 1. Proverbs, I'm looking forward to that. And I got apocalyptic literature, so that'll be a helpful tool. So all of these books, how much would you pay for them? I don't know what the list price is, but somewhere probably around $400 if you're going to pay for all of them. I got them for under $25, including taxes. Good deal. So then I went to go stop at Erdman's, one of my favorite publishers. I got a lot of favorite publishers, but I love Erdman's. They have outside of the box thinkers. They said they were going to be open, and they were closed. Very disappointed, very sad. I tried calling. I could hear the phone ringing inside the store. I could see the clearance section with all sorts of books that I wanted, and alas, none of those books were for me. So I went over to Baker Books next. So I go to Baker Book House. Probably the best bet stop to go in there. And I found a lot of books for really good prices. Let's see. First of all, I got N.T. Wright's Revelation for Everyone. I'm looking forward to this because I'm about to preach through Revelation. And frankly, if I can be honest, I have a lot of commentaries on all sorts of books. The commentaries, 98% of what's in the commentaries aren't terribly helpful for my preaching. They focus on the nuance. There's a time and a place for that. They focus on the small little details. I'm a big idea preacher. My sermon's half hour, 45 minutes long, 800 pages for Revelation 1. There's too much information that I can't cram into a sermon. I don't want to cram that much into a sermon. I'm looking for concrete behavioral change and transformation. And the word studies for 20 minutes aren't the way to get there. So looking forward to this. I like N.T. Wright, a lot of good stuff. So Revelation for Everyone. Then over there they had a great deal on sacred marriage books, $5 a piece. I've given this out as wedding presents, although I didn't give it to the last wedding I officiated. And I've often given away my own copy because I didn't have my copy available. This is a great book. I've got 3 copies of it. So I will keep this to give it away. And the idea behind this book is, what if God destined marriage to make us holy more than to make us happy? This is by Gary Thomas. It's a good book. It's a good premise. It's a true premise. And so highly recommended book, and I will be giving this out presently. If you're local and you want a copy, feel free to ask. I will give it to you as long as you're going to read it. Going along with the Revelation theme, I think this is pronounced Jürgen the Roloff, German theologian. I don't know what a continental commentary is on the book of Revelation. It was in Baker's awesome used book section. And so it was just a few bucks, and I was looking through it, and has some really concise, good ideas. And so I thought, I'm doing Revelation. Let's grab that one. It's short. Also, at Baker Book, they had Haddon Robinson's Biblical Preaching, a great foundational piece on how to preach the big idea and how to preach effectively. I've given this book out a number of times. It was $4.40. Really great deal. Yeah, I only bought 2. I should have bought more because one of my passions is to teach others how to preach as well. But I bought 2, so if you're out there and you want to learn how to communicate the Word of God through big idea preaching, I'm more than willing to sit down and talk with you for a bit. Let's see. Baker had this, The Legend of St. Christopher for Children. I've been told that St. Christopher's been desainted, defrocked. I don't know what the term is. I'm not Roman Catholic. I don't know if that's even true or not, but I've been told that he's no longer a saint, so it was on clearance for $3.60. Children's book, looked good. Interestingly enough, published by Erdman's, but Erdman's, you were closed, so I couldn't buy it from you. Another one by Erdman's, same comment as last one, A World of Prayers. This is just beautifully illustrated by Elena Gomez and selected by Jeremy Brooks. Elena obviously did the lion's share of the work, but there's just small, concise prayers from children all over the world. I think that's a great thing. I love to collect books of prayers. I like to pray through other people's prayers. I find that beneficial, and then I'm not praying the same things over and over again, and my spiritual walk has grown. So I like that. Also, over there, I found A Slow Burn and Life in Defiance by Mary E. DeMuth. And I've been looking forward to reading these books for a while. They didn't have the first in the series. I believe it's called Daisy Chain. I actually ordered it from Amazon. But these were cheaper than you could get them on Amazon, even used. So book 2 and book 3, looking forward to reading these. I believe they're about a child who's been physically abused and sexually abused, and how she is overcoming that. And I think as a pastor, that's a good perspective I need to be reading on. I've read a lot of nonfiction books in that area and talked to individuals, but in a literary sense, I think it'd be good for me. to read along with those lines. Heroes and Monsters. It's an autobiography of sorts. Well, it's not an autobiography. It's a memoir. I love memoirs. This was kind of a spur of the moment purchase, and it says an honest look at the struggle within all of us by Josh James Rybach. I liked the premise. I liked the book cover, so I sunk $6 and said, well, okay, we'll check this out. I think I'm going to like it. I love memoirs. I think Christians need to write more of those, read more of them, and be more honest in them. So, good stuff. Let's see. The Shining Face. This is by Harold Myra. It's part of one of my favorite book series. Children in the Night was the first one. This was The Shining Face, followed by, I believe, The Morning Song, something like that. I don't know. It's my favorite, and I can't remember. It was only a few bucks. I own them, of course. The Morning Sun. That's what it was called. I really enjoyed the first book, the second book, the third book. I think the first one was the strongest, but it's about people who are living totally in an underground, dark society. They've never seen the light. All they have is like some glowing fish once in a while, and that's all, and some flint strikes, but it's too moist to start a fire. So, really cool idea, really cool concept. You could never make it into a movie, but you could do an audio drama from it. Really great idea. So I picked this up because I own the book already in hardcover, but the other two versions I own are softcover, so together they don't look like they match, and so this was only a few bucks, and I said, well, now they'll finally match. Again, from their used book section, Baker Books down in Grand Rapids. And finally, I have two books here. One's by Norman Geisler, If God, Why Evil? It's basically the problem of evil. It's the problem of pain. If God, why is there evil in the world? I love Norman Geisler. He has a great first name, last name, Nathan Norman, whatever. But more than that, he's a great thinker. I liked his approach to things. This will probably be more of a reference book. I'm probably not going to read it straight through, but Geisler is great. So if you're asking that question in your own life, get this book. I haven't even read it yet, but I know Norman Geisler's work very well, and so I highly recommend it. And finally, another Norman Geisler book. I almost got his entire systematic theology book because I don't own it. It's just so much money being spent. I didn't want to spend too much, and I'm a pastor, so I don't have a lot to begin with. Christian Ethics, second edition, Contemporary Issues and Options. Again, really good, solid thinker. He's going to think through questions like the question of Rahab when she lied about the presence of the Israelite spies. Was that a good thing? Was it a bad thing? What do you do when the Nazis come to your house and they say, are you hiding Jews here? Is it okay to lie to them? Is it something where God's just going to say, well, I'll forgive you later? Or is it a good thing to lie to the Nazis? He covers that. He tackles it. Really good stuff. Again, I appreciate Norman Geisler. Great first name, but even better thinker. So there you go. All the books that I got, I think, totaled something like $75, under $75. It's a huge stack of books. Looking forward to getting through some of them, giving them out over the next few years. But reading's an important thing. Some of these books I'll get through rather quickly. Some of them I won't get through until next year. But it's good. It's important. Changes our mind and transforms us and gives us different perspectives and help us to think in different ways. So that was my book haul for the weekend. God bless you. Take care.